Let go of things that you are not supposed to hold on to. They might have given you happiness before, but maybe this time they will be able to make someone else happier. Rise and shine, real lights. Welcome back. Yes, it's true. I'm selling my old toys. You see, I am turning 21 years old in just 3 months, and yeah, I still feel like a 10-year-old, and yeah, that was pretty much a decade ago, but I finally come to the point where I'm ready to let go of my toys. I literally moved house 2 years ago, and I've not actually unboxed the box where I've kept all my toys, and there's like action figures and books and stuff. And I think many people growing up get to this natural point where they just don't care about the toys that they used to have. And throwing into that mix is kind of like the change of like interest and stuff. When I was 10, I was into Club Penguin and stuff like that. And now that I'm 20, my interests are, well, this. And with this pandemic going on and the building of my house, I think the time is now.
A buzz on in my favorite song is playing in a Broadway bar.
And this is what I mean by toys. Now this isn't everything. Of course, there's so many more boxes downstairs, but at least this is a good start. From Doctor Who stuff, to Club Penguin stuff, to even some trading cards. So the first thing that I think that I'm gonna do is make a pile of things which are sellable and a pile of things which are not sellable. I think that's the plan. Sellable, definitely sellable. Sellable, not sellable. Going to need to check to see if this works.
For the rest of our lives, yes, you and me.
As I move on to the second box, the majority of these things are like in great conditions other than like dust. Like there are some toys here which don't even have like a scratch on it. It's just shocking that this is 10 years old and I haven't broken it. Honestly. I break a lot of things, but toys I don't. But light bulbs on the other hand, there's a reason why I keep 2 spare on my desk. I've just broken a light bulb. Seriously. I've just dropped that one. That was a good bulb as well. Phone, mum. It may say Pokemon on the front, but on the inside, these are Harry Potter cards. I'm gonna have to remove all these cards from the book because the cards, they're in good condition, but the book, this isn't. Now, I think this is everything that I want to sell, from sonic screwdrivers to card jitsu cards and my ballet study book. This is what got me through dancing. But as I said earlier, all of this stuff needs an extreme de-dusting. Just look at that dust. So all of this is going to need at least a little de-dusting and maybe a little bit of cleaning here and there. And that's going to take just a little while. So
For the rest of our days, we'll be everything we want to be.
10:20 in the PM, and I've hand cleaned every single item. And I should definitely clarify that I didn't hand clean every single trading card because that would take far too long and they're pretty much like brand new. And while I was charging the batteries for this camera, I decided that I would set up a little photography studio. Many of you know that I have these fancy lights which come with a remote where I can do stuff, and yeah, you get the idea. That's how I would light myself usually for my main topic videos. Today, I've switched things up a little bit. I often get asked a lot about what gear I use, and well, this isn't really an in-depth tutorial of gear and reviewing of it. I've got 50mm f1.8 lens on a 77D by Canon, and this is just a tripod. So now that it's coming to the point where I need to take photos of the toys that I want to sell, I say toys very, very lightly. I've got books and stuff. I'm thinking in my head, what do I want to sell together? For example, it makes sense to sell all of these Club Penguin books together in one big load. But I don't know whether or not I want to sell the Doctor Who action figures together or separately. It makes sense to sell the Daleks together, and yes, this is not dusty, that is how it looks. And maybe selling the TARDISes separately as well. And when it comes to trading cards, I'm thinking that I want to sell each individual, like, rare one and well-known famous ones separately as well. I actually don't know. I think I'm just gonna commit and just think about it while I do it.
Drop your guard and take a ride with me.
I've taken photos of everything, part the cards, and well, I'm feeling pretty chuffed with the images. So now I'm transferring the files over to my computer so I can see them on my monitor, and I'm not going to give you a tutorial on how I'm going to process the images because honestly, there's no point. Like, honestly. But if you do want to see an image processing tutorial, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll get onto that ASAP. Now here's a little insight to what I do see. Now you may notice that these two images are named exactly the same thing and look identical. And well, technically they are doubles, but not really. This here is a raw image, and well, this image over here is a JPEG image. You'll notice that this one is like tiny file size, and well, that one, you don't see, but it's 27 megabytes. And well, we're gonna wanna be using the raw images because they're the highest quality images online. I said I wasn't gonna do an editing tutorial, so here are what some of the images look like. Now that the images have been processed and now I'm back on my main camera, I think it's time to sell some items. I don't want to sell all of the figures all at one time because if I have a multiple of sets and then having to work out who's buying what, I don't know what I'm doing, let's put it that way. So I think I'm gonna start with the red and underhinged Dalek, work my way through the action figures, probably do the TARDISes next. Depending on how well all the Doctor Who toys do, I may or may not just end up giving these to a charity shop after the virus has passed, because I honestly don't think these are worth anything, but you know, they are something that I no longer need. I guess the moral of this video isn't necessarily an advert for you peeps to buy my stuff. That's not what this is. This is not any of, that's not this. I think I've just got to this point in my life where everything's just changed so drastically. And I know I don't look or act like I'm turning 21 in like 3 months. And I understand that a lot of my viewers are younger and, you know, teens and tweens and children. I think it's just so interesting to see where I am now versus where I was like 3 years ago. Like, I started Hormones 3 years ago, and then like 5 years ago, I had just started this YouTube channel. Like, I created it, I was, where was I? I was in Ireland, I was in Northern Ireland, roughly about this time 5 years ago. And then when I think about 10 years ago when my passion were like trading cards and Doctor Who action figures, until where I am now. I remember when I was younger, I used to get a taxi home from school and I would get home and I would get on my laptop and play Club Penguin, and I used to literally get a belt wrapped around my head with like a landline phone to my ear, and that's how I would communicate to my friends. I'm so glad that Skype and Discord and TeamSpeak were invented. I kind of find it funny how like literally 10 years ago to this sort of time of year, I would have been writing my birthday wish list saying like, hey parents, I want a Doctor Who action figure, or I want a green Puffle plushie. There's a factor that just piques my interest when I think about the material objects that I want now as like a 20-year-old. And when I think about the materialistic objects now, like, I don't crave a car. I like camera gear, so like camera gear I kind of want better and, you know, more of. And like Nvidia just released like a brand new graphics card which would like just blow mine out of the water. I guess at the end of the day, whoever ends up getting the Daleks, I hope they get as much joy out of these as I did when I used to play with them. I guess what I've done today is just one small step into growing up, and I don't think I could ever grow up mentally. I mean, getting grey hair and wrinkles absolutely terrifies me, but mentally, I'm always going to be a kid. At least I hope so. But growing up, it doesn't bother me. I'm okay with getting old. And now, by the looks of things, the only thing left to do is to publish the listing online. I'm ready.
Waking up at sundown, the world's our playground, and we don't even have to pretend. Every time we're together, it doesn't get better, and every day's like a weekend. We're just like